Hey everyone, welcome to Reality TV News Update, the place where you never miss a moment from your favorite shows. What transpired during Episode 7? After a controversial and upsetting Blood Moon triple tribal, we've finally reached the real merge and the start of the jury phase. The final 2 weeks of the game will undoubtedly be fierce as eras collide and playstyles clash. Jonathan blindsiding Camilla left Tiffany furious and hungry for vengeance in memory of her friend, but she is remaining calm in order to avoid being the target. Genevieve's exit isn't surprising, but Aubrey holding on to her idol for one more round was, and her excuse that she somehow forgot to play it doesn't fool anyone. Dee wakes up the following morning and immediately engages in a fight with Jonathan in front of the entire tribe. Colby's boot is a sad one for Coach's honorable alliance of true warriors, but they will carry the torch for him and target Dee as retribution. Dee blindsided him at the Charlie vote, and now he blindsided her allies at the Camilla vote, blow for blow. Jonathan reveals to us at home that this is all a ploy to get Dee in the firing line, though, that he forced an argument knowing she'd struggle to bite her tongue. Meanwhile, Coach is feeling the burn and calls out all the liars and manipulators in the tribe, swearing honor and integrity will win this season, as everyone else just stares in disbelief at his unhinged coachisms. But this is why we love Coach. He's bizarre and delusional, but he kind of gets the joke and makes up dramatic poetry out of his ass just for fun. The Tidewalker has been left at sea, and the Dragonslayer is back, baby. After the triple massacre and subsequent crash-outs, Ozzy and Rizzo return from exile, and Coach quickly recruits Rizzo to replace Colby in the honorable Four Horsemen. Wow, a replacement? A pitch of this caliber does not automatically guarantee fourth place, but he'll say yes to whatever and go hit up his actual ally, Siri. With Ozzy and Rizzo bonded by exile, the trio of Siri's Wizard of Oz has a strong connection and 3 advantages. And out of nowhere, Emily tells them she knows about Rizzo's idol, which points all fingers to Dee. Loose lips flippin' strikes again, and I love to see it. Evidently, Dee has been disseminating this information everywhere to Tiffany, Emily, and Jonathan. Turns out Emily isn't the only season 45er with loose lips here, and it's not a good look. As all the chaos rages, a journey looms, and by a random shot-in-the-dark draw, Stephanie is sent off to Advantage Island against her will to compete in God knows what. However, when she arrives, the Survivor Classic, when it rains, it pours, returns. If Stephanie can endure holding her arm above her head for a whole hour, she wins an advantage. If she fails, she loses her vote. Simple stakes. On the show, however, her history of shoulder problems forces her to use her weaker left arm, which puts her at a significant disadvantage. Flashing back to her old seasons, she reminds herself she's a beast who's endured worse, and now she's a mom fighting for more than just herself out here. Surviving the full hour, Steph proves herself after 15 years away from the game and wins a vote steal as her reward. The downside? Steph is a terrible liar. Please watch her all-time train wreck performance on Snake in the Grass if you haven't, because it's hilarious. And her attempt to lie about losing the challenge falls flat as nobody thinks she couldn't go the full hour, especially Siri, who corners her and forces her to reveal the truth to someone who's seen her play firsthand on 3 different reality shows at this point. And of course, Siri runs straight to her ally Rizzo to spill all of Steph's beans. This is huge news for these two, because they now know where every advantage is. Armed with this information, they decide that it might be time to snipe Dee out to keep their secrets. And, removing a proven champion from the tribe can't hurt anyone else's chances.
But to get Dee out, they have to beat her in the immunity challenge. And today's challenge is a two-parter, a typical Murgatory challenge for a Chinese takeout feast and a shot at the individual portion, then a generic balance challenge you've seen a million times for the necklace itself. It's a close race and a closer puzzle. The team of Christian, Ozzy, Joe, Dee, Rick, Stephanie, and Emily takes the win and moves on to the individual portion, where Dee's super toes can't seal the deal against Joe and Ozzy, and it's ultimately Ozzy who takes the win. It's been a long time since his last solo win, but he's still got it after all these years. And unless Dee can get past it, she still has that huge target on her back tonight. While the winners eat, the losers talk about the names for tonight, Dee and Aubrey. Awful news. Both of her neighborhood allies and a big shield going home as the first juror because Coach and Jonathan wanted to be so. It's not exactly her ideal situation, but all she can do is keep her head down and survive. Meanwhile, Aubrey tries removing her target from her back and promises she'll play the idol tonight so her game can actually change after the fact. But if Aubrey is totally safe, that means voting for her is a total waste of time, meaning Tiffany can be the backup vote in a 7-4 split. When the winners get back to camp, Coach, aka General Dragonslayer, is pushing the votes the way he wants, hoping to vote for Dee so Tiffany won't come back to camp pissed at him. But as Coach breaks his word to himself and starts loudly calling shots, he lets it be known that Christian is flip-floppy in his mind, and that info gets in Christian's ears via Rick Devins, and then Christian tells Coach he's heard about the split, so now Coach is mad that Christian is involved in the plan at all. And as all the messiness spreads, Stephanie is annoyed, Rick is annoyed, Rizzo is annoyed. All eyes are aimed at Coach, who dissed the middle people to their faces in a classic foot-in-mouth Coach moment. Rizzo clues in Coach to the chaos he's causing, reminding him he can't slay dragons in the middle of camp and needs to keep his mouth shut. Therefore, rather than writing haikus in the middle of camp, Coach appears completely insane, even to his own allies. Therefore, if Coach is so desperate to control votes at the expense of everyone else, shouldn't they just turn the votes on Coach to remove the agent of chaos? Emily pitches such a plan, and Tiff and Dee are down. Ozzy might be down, Rick might be down. The votes might actually be there if they can cause chaos at Tribal and exploit this split vote plan for their own gain. Well, sorry to the Coach haters out there, he's sticking around for another week to dish out more spoken word. Because even after Dee's chaotic attempt to save herself and slay the Dragonslayer at a live tribal, including playing her shot in the dark, the votes go as planned, and she's sent to the jury as the mayor of Ponderosa. And Aubrey finally played her idol and negated no votes with it. Good for her, but she loses out to the overall winner, and the cast now has a level playing field. And after a fairly straightforward merge round, we have another twist incoming. Yay, because production remembered that they still have 13 people left with so few days remaining. It's probably another double boot. Who will take the fall next? Is Coach slaying his own game? Is it true that Aubrey has shook her target off her back? Could Stephanie's advantage outweigh her disadvantage? And why is Siri crying in the preview? And who do I have to blame? It was a fantastic night of Survivor, and hopefully next week keeps the streak going. Potentially terrible twist
across the shattered cliffs of Varenth, carrying with it the scent of ash and something older, something that had not stirred for centuries. The world had already begun to whisper his name again, Kael Draven, the slayer of dragons. But legends, as everyone was about to learn, never stay buried. The episode opens in eerie silence. Broken weapons and scorched earth litter the abandoned battlefield from episode 6. The once mighty dragon Vorthrax is gone, but the victory feels hollow. Survivors speak in hushed tones, not of triumph, but of what Kael became in the final moments of the battle. Arryn stands at the edge of the cliff, still wounded but alive.
He keeps reliving the moment in his mind, with Kael striking the final blow, not only killing the dragon, but also absorbing its essence, his eyes glowing with an unnatural fire. Aaron mutters, "That wasn't a victory. That was something different." Lyra approaches with a tense expression behind him. She's been studying ancient texts recovered from the ruins, and what she's found is troubling. She reveals, the Dragonslayers weren't just hunters, they were vessels. Aaron turns sharply. For what? Lyra hesitates. For dragons themselves. To Kael now. In the Ashen Vale's ruins of an ancient temple, he is the only person there. The atmosphere is suffocating, walls carved with draconic runes, faintly glowing as if reacting to his presence. As veins of ember-like light pulse beneath his skin, Kael is having trouble breathing and is holding on to his chest. He can hear a voice in his head. You can't change who you are now. Kael falls to the ground and kneels. I am not you, he growls. The voice laughs, deep, ancient and patient. You already are. This internal battle becomes the emotional core of the episode. Kael is no longer just a warrior, he is a battleground. Memories flash, his training, his promises, his friendships, all clashing with visions of fire, destruction and domination. In the meantime, political tension rises. The High Council meets secretly once more in Eldrath, the city that is Eldrath's capital. Fear quickly spreads as they learn of Kael's transformation. The council is divided. One member argues, he saved us. He changed, another counters. That power is not human. The most chilling voice comes from Lord Malrek, who has remained suspiciously quiet until now. If the Dragonslayer has become a dragon, he says calmly, then we must treat him as one. The decision is made. Kael is no longer an ally. He is a threat. Back in the Ashen Vale, Aaron and Lyra set out to find Kael before the council does. Their journey is anxious and fraught with moments of quiet doubt. Aaron suffers from guilt because he convinced Kael that fighting Vorthrax was the only option. Lyra, however, sees something deeper. She asserts, this was always going to happen. The legends were incomplete. Dragonslayers don't just kill dragons, they inherit them. Aaron clenches his fists. Then we find a way to undo it. Lyra doesn't respond. The episode's midpoint delivers one of its most striking scenes. Kael, now barely in control, wanders into a small village at the edge of the Vale. He initially seeks assistance due to his strained voice and shaking body. The villagers recognize him. Some cheer, some are feared. Then it occurs. A child accidentally knocks over a lantern. Flames spread quickly, and in a moment of panic, Kael reacts, not as a man, but as something else. Fire erupts from his body. The entire village is engulfed in flames. Kael watches in horror as destruction unfolds around him, unable to stop it. His scream echoes over the inferno. This is the turning point. Kael realizes the truth. He is losing control. Aaron and Lyra arrive too late. The village is nothing but smoldering ruins. Unaware that it was the hero they once praised, survivors talk about a fire demon. Devastated, Aaron falls to his knees. We're running out of time, Lyra says quietly. As night falls, Kael returns to the temple. He does not resist the voice this time. What do you want from me? He asks. The answer is immediate. Freedom. The temple's runes explode, revealing a chamber beneath the floor. Kael descends into darkness, drawn by an unseen force. An ancient relic, a heart-shaped crystal pulsing with crimson light, can be found in the chamber's center. They were vessels, is echoed in Lyra's earlier statements. Kael reaches out. The moment his hand touches the crystal, the world shifts. Visions flood his mind, countless Dragonslayers across history, each one succumbing to the same fate, each one getting better and worse over time. But one vision stands out. a Dragonslayer who resisted, a woman clad in silver armor standing against a colossal dragon, not to kill it, but to bind it. Her voice cuts through the chaos. "You still have a choice." Kael gasps as he returns to the present and takes his hand away. For the first time, the voice falters. "What have you seen?" Kael rises slowly, his expression changing. The fear is still there, but now there is something else. Resolve. The final act brings everything together. Aaron and Lyra track Kael to the temple. As they enter, they find him standing before the glowing crystal, surrounded by swirling energy. Aaron steps forward cautiously. "Kael, it's us." Kael turns. He alternates between human and draconic vision. "I can't control it," he admits, "but I can choose what comes next." Lyra studies the crystal. "That's the source. If you destroy it—" "I won't just destroy it," he interrupts. "I'll let everything inside go." Aaron's eyes widen. "That could annihilate half of the veil." Kael nods. "Or it could end this cycle." The tension is unbearable. There is no safe option, only an option. The episode ends on a cliffhanger. Kael once more places his hand on the crystal. Power surges, shaking the temple. Aaron reaches out, shouting his name, while Lyra braces for the unknown. Kael closes his eyes. "For once," he whispers, "I decide who I become." The screen cuts to black.